You worry about others judging you because you judge yourself. Think about that. Let that sink in. And it's true. You worry about others judging you because you probably also judge others, because you're also a judgmental person. And since you judge, you think others are judging. You think they're going to judge you because you also judge yourself. And when it comes to journaling, you're not opening up at first because you're scared to open up to your own self. Crazy how it can be easy for you to open up to another person, but it's hard for you to open up to yourself. For whatever reason, you might be scared to bring up old thoughts, feelings, trauma, or because you might judge yourself thinking, what the fuck am I doing? What is this? This isn't going to help me. This is some weird stuff, whatever the case is. But just be open-minded. Be vulnerable with yourself. Express yourself, express your feelings, your thoughts, whatever it is. Don't be scared to open up to yourself. This is a great step towards self-love, towards self-care, towards healing, towards taking care of your mental health, of your feelings, just dealing with everything instead of just building it up in there. Your feelings need to be handled. Your emotions. You probably think you have taken care of those things of trauma, but just pushing it away and forgetting about it. But it will eventually come up. It might scare you. It might hurt you again. You just want to forget about it because you feel that's the way to deal with it. But you actually need to deal with it. You need to process it. Maybe you haven't processed it. You haven't accepted it. You haven't learned from it. You need to learn from everything that you have went through. And you need to move on. You want to let it go, but not by just pushing it and forgetting about it. You need to sit down with it, learn from it, and then move forward. And journaling is great with that. Journaling is great with letting feelings go, with emotions, anything like that, with thoughts go. Slowly but surely, you will start opening up to yourself. You will then elaborate on why you're feeling a certain way, why you're feeling sad. You'll write down, I'm feeling sad because of this, because of that. And you will just let it flow, dude. You will just keep writing and writing. There's going to be days you might not write as much as others, but that's fine. There are those days. There's some days where I don't feel like journaling as much. If I might have an issue, I love to journal. I love to journal because that's a way for me to let things go, for emotions go, to clear my mind from all these thoughts that I'm having, because I can get all up in my thoughts. And if I'm going through a certain situation, something happens, someone says something to me, I first like to talk to myself. I like to sit with myself in quiet and absorb everything and just reflect on what was said to me, on what happened, and just sit with it and feel anything, feel it, not act on anything. That's usually how I start dealing with something. And then I go to journaling because I feel like I just need to go through that. I need to feel all the feelings. You need to feel everything. Feeling angry is not bad. You feel it, but just don't act on it. Don't do something that you wish you would have handled differently. So I feel it all. I get all the thoughts. And then I'm like, okay, well, you feel like this and that. If it's something negative, like these thoughts are not going to help you. I realize that they're not going to help me, that I need to learn from this. Like, what am I going to do about this? I'm not going to let it affect me, affect my day, affect my mood. It made me feel some type of way. Okay, and then I, let it go, whatever. And sometimes that works with just letting things go, and I just let it go. But it depends. Sometimes then I do have to go to journaling. But I typically always go to journaling because it's just another way to really just let it go and lay out all my thoughts, so I don't continue thinking about it and I don't continue having the feelings about it. And I lay it all out. I lay out all the thoughts, negative or positive. Okay, you guys, it's not always positive. And it's okay if you write down something negative, but don't let that consume you, okay? I was recently going through something, and I first talked to myself and I did all that stuff, and then I journaled. And when I journaled, you guys, journaling is so powerful because I thought I was feeling some type of way because of something. And when I was journaling, I realized that it was something way deep more than that. It's like I found out what was triggering me. And I said, okay, like this is great. I don't see it as negative. I don't feel bad. I see it as something positive where I learn from it and I do something about it, where I won't put myself in that certain situation anymore. I love learning things about me, and it was just so eye opening where I was like, dude, I would have never thought about this. I would have never have seen it like this. And it's just really amazing of what journaling could do. After I finished journaling, I was done with the situation. I literally forgot about it. I felt this weight off of my shoulders. The thoughts were gone about it. And the feelings were gone about it. I felt so light and like happy, also because I realized something about myself and I learned something new. And it was just this deep connection with me. That is communicating with yourself. It's really getting to know yourself and learning more about yourself. I'm always learning about me. I'm always trying to dig deeper and opening up to myself about different things, seeing what comes up, seeing new perspectives, because sometimes you might feel like you have this perspective, but then you like have this other one. It's just amazing. Really amazing. Journaling is amazing. You guys really need to try it out. A lot of you might think it's dumb, that it doesn't work at all, which, hey, if you have tried it out and it does not work for you, okay, it doesn't work for you. But if you haven't tried it out, if you haven't tried journaling and you're talking all this shit about it, that it's dumb, it's a waste of time, maybe you should give it a shot first before saying all these things about it, okay? How are you going to speak on something that you haven't even tried out? Give it a shot, and give it a shot for a while, like a month, 2 months, to see how it helps you. Because in the beginning, like I said, you're not going to want to open up to yourself. And it might take a couple, who knows, days, weeks, months for you to really open up to yourself, to be vulnerable with yourself. Journaling is part of my everyday routine. I have been journaling for I want to say 4 years now. There's been months where I haven't journaled, but prior to the 4 years, I never journaled ever. I never had a journal. So I've been journaling for 4 years and it has helped me so much. At first, I started journaling because I wanted to remember things. I have such a horrible memory because of the drugs and the drinking and all that. I wanted to remember stuff. And it was also when I started my healing journey because I wanted to see how different I felt throughout the months, how I felt when I wasn't drinking. And it was just a motivation because I would go back and I would read the journals. Reading how I felt and those positive words I would say to myself, I would go back to that and I'd be like, look at me. I'm just going forward. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to remain positive. That was a motivation for me because I would write down positive things and I would look back at it. And, it was like if I needed support, I would go back to myself. If I needed some motivation, I'd go back to it. And just a reminder, whatever it is, I would go back to it. Because at first I would just write down things that happened yesterday or things I had planned for today. But after and also, I just started learning more about journaling, how people journal, what do they journal about. And I wanted to dig deep, and I wanted to let go of things. And I had tried out this exercise to forgive people. It was about forgiving people and letting go and detaching yourself. And you had to write a letter to them. So I did, to every single person that I needed to forgive, for me, for my peace, to let go, to detach myself. And it felt good, and I really opened up myself in those letters where I said, hey, let me incorporate that into my daily journaling. Let me open up and see how I'm feeling. Just really going in deep, besides just saying how my day was, writing down what I have to do, my thoughts, So I switched it over to feelings, and it has really, really helped me. And it's so healing. It's self-love. It's taking care of you. And it's communicating with yourself. When you journal, this is the last little tip I'm going to give you guys. After you're done journaling, reread your journal entry. because you're writing your feelings, thoughts, whatever it is. And you want to then listen to yourself. You want to listen to your feelings, to your thoughts, to how you are doing. So you journal, you're letting it out, and then you're intaking it, like really analyzing it, how you feel and what you're thinking about. And that's communication, because you are speaking how you're feeling, but you're also making sure that you are listening to yourself. Like, isn't that such a beautiful way of communicating with yourself? It's amazing. And you could just keep the conversation going. You could keep writing, or what I usually do is have a conversation with myself out loud. I respond to myself. And it's just, you guys, like, it's so therapeutic. A lot of people feel like they need to talk to somebody else about their problems. They want to be listened to, but there's nothing like being listened to by yourself, like communicating with yourself, like speaking to yourself, because you're the only one that knows how you are feeling. You understand yourself, and you want that. When you go to somebody else, you want them to understand you and feel you, what you're going through, your emotions. You might go into detail because you just want them to feel you, but they're not you. They don't really feel what you are feeling. And when you communicate with yourself, you understand yourself. You just love yourself even more, and you're understanding. You just build this bond with yourself. The bond with yourself can be so beautiful, and it can be so healing. And that's where you realize, like, hey, like, all you need is you. You need to be there for yourself, and you need to show up for yourself. As long as you understand yourself, that's all you need, because you can handle it, okay? You can do it. I love journaling, and I hope